Close your eyes, if only for a moment. Imagine holding the very thing you long for. The love, the wealth, the peace, the success. You feel it, don't you? That quiet whisper within, telling you it is already done. That is not fantasy, it is truth unwrapped. By faith, you were never chasing something outside of you. The world would have you believe you must strive, suffer, beg, or compete. But I tell you this, the winning ticket is already yours. You are not waiting to be chosen, you have already won. How do you claim it? By saying this, it is done. I have it now, not tomorrow, not when the circumstances look right. Now. The moment you speak from the end, you break the illusion of lack. You stop trying to become and instead you begin to be. That is the power you were born with. Not to beg life for scraps, but to speak life into your vision. Say it again. It is done. I have it now. Let the words be more than sound. Let them burn through doubt. Let them become your inner atmosphere. You are not asking, you are declaring. And what you declare with feeling becomes form. Do not check the outer world for evidence. Do not wait for confirmation. The outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner conviction. What you feel now, you meet later. So feel it now, feel it fully, and watch what happens. Walk, speak, breathe as though the prize is already yours, because it is. And whenever fear creeps in, say it once more, it is done. I have it now. That, my friend, is the key. That is the code that unlocks every door. You are not hoping, you are knowing. You are not wishing, you are claiming. And nothing can stop the one who remembers this truth. The winning ticket is already yours. Just say this. You may believe your desire is something you must reach for, something distant and separate from you, a relationship, a home, a sum of money, a new identity. But that idea is false. What you truly long for is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It is already within you, fully formed in the invisible realm of imagination, waiting for your recognition. The moment you desire something, it is evidence that it already exists within you. Desire is never born from absence, it is born from presence. You feel the longing, not because you are empty, but because life is calling you to remember what is already yours. The dream isn't chasing you, nor are you chasing it. You are awakening to the truth that you are the vessel in which the desire already lives. You don't need to seek outside validation or external proof to confirm it. You need only to recognize that to want is to already have in seed form, and that your acknowledgement is what brings it into bloom. Imagine this. When you plant a seed in the soil, you do not question whether the tree will grow. You water it, you care for it, and you trust the process. So it is with your desire. The moment it was born in your heart, it was planted within your consciousness. But unlike the tree, it does not need time or space to exist. It requires your inner agreement, your assumption, your feeling that it already is. That is the profound mystery. The outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state. You may think the world is hard, resistant, slow, but it is only mirroring what you accept as true. When you walk around believing your desires are separate from you, the world will confirm your belief. It must. But if you dare to believe that you already possess what you seek, then your world must rearrange to match that assumption. This is not philosophy, this is spiritual law. Most people wait for conditions to change before they feel different. They wait for the relationship before they feel loved. They wait for the money before they feel abundant. But this is like waiting for a mirror to smile before you do. You must smile first. You must feel first. You must own the inner truth long before the outer confirms it. So when you say, I desire this, shift it immediately to this is already mine, not in arrogance or delusion, but in quiet confidence. Feel the reality of it. Taste it. Walk through the world as though it's done, because in your imagination, the true creative power, it is done. And when you live from that end, the end will begin to unfold around you. This is why no effort in the physical world can replace the power of inner knowing. You could toil for years and never achieve what you long for. Or you could sit quietly, close your eyes, and feel the wish fulfilled. And the world will move in strange and wonderful ways to match your vision. Not because you're lucky, but because you finally understood you are not separate from what you seek. You are one with it. Let go of chasing. Let go of waiting. Let go of believing that your desire is something outside of you. It is not. It has never been. It is yours now. Feel it, claim it, and walk in the knowing that your life is simply catching up to the truth already alive in you. You already possess what you seek. Always have, always will. Everything you see around you, every structure, invention, success, and failure, began in imagination. Before it became tangible, it lived in the unseen. Someone imagined it. Someone dared to believe in what had not yet appeared, and the world simply caught up to that inner conviction. This is the great secret. Imagination is not a fantasy or daydreaming. It is the root of reality. It is the workshop of creation. It is the truth behind everything that exists. We are taught to believe in what we can touch, measure, and prove. We place all our faith in the visible world. But the visible world is only an effect. It is not the cause. The true cause is within, always. Imagination precedes form. Nothing appears in your world that you have not first entertained in some form within your consciousness. Whether by intention or by default, your imagination is always at work. The question is not whether you are using it, but whether you are using it wisely. Look closely at your life. The relationships, the circumstances, the financial state, the career path, none of it is random. All of it mirrors what you have accepted as true in the depths of your mind. If you have imagined lack, if you have accepted limitation, if you have consistently felt unworthy, then the outer world will faithfully reflect that back to you. It must. That is the law. But here is the power. If you can imagine something vividly, feel it deeply, and accept it as already true, then it must outpicture itself. It may not happen in the way you expect or according to the clock you follow, but it will unfold, often in ways more perfect than your logic could plan. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself according to the blueprint you hold within. You are not a prisoner of what is, you are the author of what will be. What you hold in imagination, what you give your attention to, what you emotionally accept as true, becomes your lived experience. If you want to change your life, you must first change your imagination, not with wishful thinking or empty hoping, but with inner acceptance. The deep, quiet knowing that what you imagine is. This is not about pretending, it is about assuming. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must walk, talk, and feel from the place of already having. When you do this in imagination, consistently and confidently, the world begins to shift. Doors open, people appear, circumstances bend. Why? Because imagination has rewritten the script, and reality is merely playing its part. Most people use their imagination to rehearse failure, to dwell on fear, to relive pain. They imagine being rejected, ignored, or defeated, and then wonder why their lives echo those very experiences. But you can reverse this. You can imagine being celebrated, successful, loved, healed. And if you persist in that inner vision, regardless of appearances, it will take root and grow into form. There is no power in the outer world greater than your inner world. You do not need permission, credentials, or the approval of others to imagine a new reality. You need only your attention, your belief, and your willingness to feel it as done. Imagination is the first step, the middle step, and the final step. Everything flows from it. For everything flows from it. So the next time you find yourself doubting, worrying, or waiting for proof, stop. Go within, create the scene you desire, make it vivid, see it, hear it, touch it, feel it, and then rest in the knowing that it is done. The outer world will soon follow, because it must. Imagination is the only reality. The rest is reflection. Words are not harmless sounds drifting into the air. They are seeds. Each word carries vibration, intention, and direction. Every time you speak, whether aloud or silently to yourself, you are giving a command to the unseen forces that govern your reality. You are shaping your world through the power of speech. For speech is not merely communication, it is creation. You may not realize it, but the life you live today is the result of the words you spoke yesterday, the conversations you had with others, the silent declarations you made to yourself, the labels you accepted. All of it has contributed to the structure of your reality. When you say, "I can't," "I'm tired," "it never works out for me," you are not merely describing your life. You are writing the script that life must follow. You are assigning roles to people, assigning conditions to your future, and limiting your possibilities. This is why it is vital to guard your words. Speak only what you wish to see. If you desire abundance, let your words reflect wealth and sufficiency. If you seek love, let your speech be full of tenderness, confidence, and harmony. If you long for healing, do not speak of illness as if it owns you. Declare yourself whole, even if the outer world has not yet caught up. You are not lying when you do this. You are creating. You are speaking from the end. You are calling those things that are not seen as though they are, and by spiritual law they must appear. The spoken word is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. When repeated with belief and emotion, it becomes a force that rearranges circumstances, draws people, and opens doors. Look around you. Listen to how people speak. You will notice that those who constantly talk about problems continue to live in them. Those who speak with faith, clarity, and expectation, even when nothing around them seems to support it, often find that life bends in their favor. Why? Because speech is not passive, it is a tool, a weapon, a builder. When you affirm something, you are not simply wishing. You are anchoring that reality within yourself. You are feeding it energy. You are confirming its existence in your consciousness. And what you consistently confirm in consciousness must become your experience in the world. This is why affirmations, when done with feeling and persistence, are so powerful. They are not magic, they are alignment. They train the subconscious mind to accept a new truth. And the subconscious, once impressed, begins to express. It will shape your habits, influence your decisions, and guide you toward actions and outcomes that reflect your affirmed reality. But it works both ways. Negative affirmations, statements of fear, doubt, or lack are just as powerful. If you say, "I never get what I want," the subconscious believes you and ensures that this truth is played out. If you say, "I'm not worthy," the world will show you reflections of that belief over and over. Not because it is true, but because you made it true through repetition. So speak with intention. Make your words a sacred ritual. Let your mouth become the doorway through which only blessings pass. When you speak, do it from the feeling that it is already done. Say, "I am successful. I am loved. Everything works in my favor." And do not wait for the world to prove it. Say it until the world has no choice. There is no need to beg or plead. Speak as one who knows. Speak as the creator, not the victim. Because every word you say, whether whispered in solitude or declared boldly to the world, is a blueprint, and life, in perfect obedience, builds from it. So speak wisely, speak powerfully, speak as though you already are what you seek, for in truth you are, and your words will make it so. Thought alone is not enough. You may entertain 1,000 ideas, visualize the grandest images, and repeat countless affirmations. But unless you feel the reality of what you seek, nothing changes. Feeling is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It is the secret ingredient that gives life to your desires. Without it, the desire remains a shadow, unformed and unclaimed. Or with it, deep, sustained, emotional feeling. You awaken the creative power within, and what was once unseen begins to move into form. You must understand the universe responds not to what you say, but to what you feel to be true. Your inner world is not governed by words alone, but by the emotional atmosphere behind those words. You can say, "I am wealthy" 100 times, but if underneath you feel lack, anxiety, or disbelief, the dominant vibration is still poverty. It is not your lips that create, it is your heart. It is the emotion that surrounds the thought that gives it its power. What you feel becomes your experience because feeling is the language of the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not reason, argue, or debate. It simply accepts what you emotionally dwell in as fact. When you feel successful, even before outer success appears, your subconscious begins to move the pieces. It starts the invisible process of drawing into your life all that matches your dominant state. That feeling of success creates a vibration, and that vibration becomes your magnetic field. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are, and you are what you feel. This is why it is essential to live from the end, to step into the state of the wish fulfilled, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. You must ask yourself, if this desire were already mine, how would I feel? And then you must assume that feeling now. Wear it like a garment. Let it shape your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Even when appearances say otherwise, stay loyal to the feeling, because the outer world will shift in time. It must, so long as you remain consistent in your inner state. Most people reverse this process. They wait to feel successful until the money comes, wait to feel loved until someone shows up, wait to feel secure until the world offers guarantees. But the law does not work this way. You must feel first. The inner precedes the outer. When you generate the feeling within, the outer world molds itself accordingly. The mirror cannot change until the reflection changes. And the reflection is shaped by your emotional state. This is not about pretending. This is not about forcing happiness or ignoring pain. It is about choosing to dwell in the feeling of your desired reality, not because the world tells you it is real, but because your heart declares it so. And when your feeling becomes dominant, when it becomes the atmosphere you carry throughout your day, it becomes the seed from which your new reality grows. Practice it. Before sleep, enter the scene of your fulfilled desire. See it, yes, but more importantly, feel it. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude, the certainty. Let your body relax into it as though it were already done. And as you fall asleep in that state, your subconscious takes over. It begins to mold the dream and eventually the waking world to match what you felt to be true. You are not waiting for the world to give you permission to feel. You are the one who sets the tone. The world is only your echo. If you wish to change the echo, change the original sound. That sound is your feeling. So feel wisely, feel deliberately, feel as one who already has. And you will find that the world, like a faithful servant, will rearrange itself to match your inner command. Because in the end, it is not the thought that creates. It is the feeling behind the thought that brings it to life. To assume the end boldly is to declare within yourself, it is already done. Not someday, not eventually, but now. This inner knowing is not mere wishful thinking. It is an act of spiritual confidence. It is the creative act itself. When you assume the end, you bypass all questions of how, when, or why. You walk directly into the reality of your desire, not as a seeker, but as one who already possesses it. This is the difference between hoping and knowing. Hoping places your desire somewhere in the future, always just beyond reach. Knowing brings it into the present, into your consciousness, and makes it real within. And because all things are first created in consciousness, once it is real within you, the outer world must follow. Think of a winning ticket. If someone handed it to you and said, "You've won," you would not continue to wonder whether or not you were chosen. You would not beg, plead, or try to earn it. You would claim it. You would begin to live in the feeling of what that ticket now means for your life. You might smile differently, walk differently, speak differently. Why? Because inwardly your state has shifted. Your world is the same, but you are not the same in it. That is what assuming the end does. It shifts your identity. And identity is everything. The world reflects back to you who you believe yourself to be. When you assume the end, you are taking on the identity of the version of yourself who already has what you desire. You begin to think as that version, act as that version, feel as that version. You no longer react to life from your old state of lack or longing. You respond from fulfillment. This is not about pretending. It's about embodying. Pretending is fragile. It breaks when the outer world contradicts it. But embodiment is rooted in conviction. Even when appearances remain unchanged, the one who lives from the end stands firm. They are not swayed by the shadows of the old. They walk by inner vision, not outer sight. To live from the end is to mentally reside in the house you've already built in imagination. You decorate it, you feel the warmth of its light, you walk its halls. You welcome your desire, not as a stranger you're hoping to meet, but as a friend already home. This requires faith, not blind faith, but the faith that sees with the inner eye. It is the kind of faith that says, though I see no evidence yet, I know it is mine. And because you know it, your energy shifts. That shift is the cause. The effect will follow as surely as night follows day. The mistake most people make is to keep looking for proof. They pray, they affirm, they visualize, and then they open their eyes and search for signs. But in doing so, they return to the old state, the state of not yet. They undo their own work. To assume the end boldly is to rest, to walk through the world with the quiet assurance that it is already settled, that the unseen is more real than the seen, that the roots are growing even before the flower appears. Speak, think, and move as the one who already has. Let that assumption guide your decisions, shape your habits, and filter your responses. Do not ask, "Is it working?" Instead, declare, "It is done." Every time doubt whispers, return to the end. Let it become your dwelling place. Let it define your mood, your posture, your thoughts. For the truth is this: the winning ticket is already yours. It was never withheld. You are not waiting for it to arrive. You are awakening to the fact that it has already been given. And the moment you boldly assume that it is so, everything begins to shift. The world rearranges, time bends, circumstances align, not because you forced it, but because you claimed it. Live from the end, and you will discover that the end was always yours. There are moments in life when everything changes, not because the world shifts, but because you speak one phrase with such clarity, such certainty, that it breaks the pattern of doubt and aligns you with your true power. Words are not idle. They are not mere sounds escaping the mouth. They are vessels charged with the energy of the speaker, and when spoken with belief, they pierce through fear and call forth a new reality. This is a single statement, when accepted with conviction, is more powerful than years of struggle. It is not the quantity of affirmations that transforms your life. It is the quality of the consciousness behind them. One phrase, truly believed, repeated not with desperation but with authority, can alter the course of your existence, not because of the words themselves, but because of the energy they carry. Words are seeds, and when planted in the fertile soil of unwavering belief, they yield an inevitable harvest. Imagine saying, "I am free." If you whisper it without feeling, it is but air passing over lips. But if you declare it from the depths of your being, as if it were the final verdict on your life, chains fall off, limitations dissolve, you stand taller, breathe deeper. Why? Because the phrase has reached beyond your conscious mind and touched the place where reality is made, the subconscious. The subconscious is impressionable. It does not analyze or critique. It accepts what you feed it, especially when emotion is present. That is why statements said with belief are so powerful. They imprint directly on the inner mind, and once that inner mind accepts the new truth, the outer world has no choice but to conform. This is the creative law. You do not beg the world to change. You declare the change within yourself. You speak it boldly, not to make it true, but because it is already true in the realm of consciousness. And the world is only a mirror. Speak lack, and the mirror shows you more lack. Speak abundance, wholeness, victory, and in time the mirror reflects that too. Many people speak without awareness. They say things casually, "I'm broke, I'm tired, nothing ever works out for me," and wonder why their life follows the same painful pattern. But if they only knew the power of a single, conscious declaration, everything would shift. Say instead, "I always succeed." Say it until it feels like your breath. Say it until every cell in your body vibrates with its truth. Then step back and watch how the universe echoes that statement. You do not have to understand how it will come to pass. That is not your concern. Your only task is to speak the truth of your desire as if it were already your present experience. I am loved. I am healed. I am chosen. All things are working in my favor. Choose one. Make it your anchor. Return to it when fear arises. Repeat it when the mind drifts. Declare it when nothing outside supports it. This is true power. The moment you commit to one statement and embody it fully, everything unlike it begins to dissolve. Old beliefs rise to be released. People, places, and conditions rearrange themselves, not by force, but by law. Because what you believe and declare with feeling must become the substance of your life. This is not about shouting louder. It is about speaking from the knowing. Whisper it if you must, but let that whisper carry the weight of certainty. Let your statement become a sacred mantra, a point of alignment between who you were and who you are becoming. Speak it, feel it, own it. But one statement, infused with belief, can move mountains. It can open doors. It can raise the dead parts of your life and breathe new purpose into them. Never underestimate the power of your voice when it is in harmony with your inner conviction. Your world is listening. Say it and watch it become. And so you stand now at the threshold of a new reality, not one you must chase or strive to earn, but one that has always belonged to you. The winning ticket is already yours. The moment you recognize this, everything begins to change, not outside first, but within. You possess the power to create through imagination, to mold life with your words, to transform through feeling, and to walk boldly as though it is already done. You are not here to beg, to wish, or to wait. You are here to remember that what you seek is already seeking you, that your desire is not a hope, it is a fact in the unseen, waiting only for your assumption. Speak it, feel it, live it, and never waver. For one statement, one inner decision made in confidence can redirect your entire destiny. Say this now, not as a request, but as a decree. It is done. I have it now. Thank you.